Hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the Tempe History Museum. This is called Performances at the Museum. It's a series we've been doing for 10 years. Over 20,000 people have come into this room. Not tonight. It's really strange doing music and there's nobody in the room because the songs stop and nobody screams and yells. So maybe scream and yell at home if you will. The cool thing about this museum is we've got this art exhibit around. So the art you'll see tonight is by Champ and Such Styles. It's obviously video game art. It goes with a video game exhibit that we've got coming up. We may open in the summer. That's leaking some information out there. So performances at the museum brought to you by the city of Tempe. Tonight we have some cool jazz. Geibral, Elisha movement. I'd like to welcome those guys. Take it away.
Greetings. We're the Geibral Elisha movement. We'd like to thank you for joining us tonight on this live stream. I'd like to say thank you to the band for being with me here tonight. Tehran on the drums. Give it up for Tehran. We got Jonathan on the guitar. Thank you, Jonathan. Give it up for Jonathan. We got Stephen on the bass. Thank you, Stephen, for being here. I'm Geibral Elisha. We're the Geibral Elisha movement. So honored to have this opportunity to share our music with you, for you to join us, and to be hosted by the wonderful Tempe History Museum. I've been here before when it was open. It's a really cool place. It has great things that you can look at. Last time I came, it was probably a year or two before this happened, because I live not too far from here, actually. So it was a pretty cool place. I'm looking forward to seeing the museum, like many places, open back up, because it's a place of rich culture and history, and it's a great place to get exposure to a lot of things. And that's what life is about, being exposed to different things and finding out we have a lot more in common than we thought we had. The name of the first song that we played for you is called From Orion with Love, Orion being the constellation, the star system. The song came to me sometime in the summer after I was meditating. I was guided through some chord sequences, and the beautiful melody that I heard came to me, and it just, as I sat at the piano, I played and it came out, and I was telepathically guided through that song. So I'm thankful for it. I came to learn that there's a whole web, sort of like the internet, you can look at it that way, that we can connect to with our consciousness if we do a little bit of work on ourselves. There's a whole bunch of beings out there that love us and that only wish to help us. And if not, they wouldn't have anything to gain from it. The longer a civilization has been in existence, the more benevolent they become. Just look at us. Our recorded history says we've been here for so long, and we still have ground to make, but we're a lot better than we were last year. We're a lot better than we were 50 years ago. So the longer we exist, the more we grow, and there's beings out there that love us just the same. And I just wanted to share that with you. There's a lot of songs that I came up with, that one, Astral Awakening, that I'll be playing later, and I guess the good ones. The good ones I don't have inspiration for necessarily. They come to me through that way, through the ethereal realm, as you would call it. I didn't know how to describe it years ago, but now I finally know how to describe it. And I feel comfortable talking about it. That's why I'm saying it. I'm thankful for you all checking this out, and I'm thankful to the History Museum again for hosting us. I'm thankful to this great group of musicians that I met through that same way. Divine providence, as you would say, the heavenly hierarchy kind of orchestrates certain things. Sometimes you're in the right place at the right time. You meet great guys. I met Jonathan at a gig that I just happened to take. It turned out to be a great guy. He's still with me. Tehran, we kind of grew up together, but he introduced Stephen to me through a jam session that they both went to, and it turned out that Stephen wanted to come play with us one day, and he played with us, and he's still here. So that's just kind of how it works. You open yourself up, and things kind of line up. So I'm thankful that things have lined up, and we're still together. So enough of that introduction. I'm going to get to some music, but that's what I do. I tell stories. I speak from the soul, from my heart, because I think that's where the music comes from too also. Just being real and being natural. So I thank you for joining us, like I said. The next song I'm going to play, this one is called Dance of the Thunderbird. It's more of the jazz fusion, has a lot of rock aspects to it. I grew up listening to Rage Against the Machine. When I was a youngster, we moved into a different community, and I started skateboarding. One of my friends who skateboarded with me, his name was Hector, and his brothers had a little garage band, and I played the drums for him. And we would go to little houses, and they were in college, and I was like a freshman. And I would be playing the drums for them. So I got into a lot of rock. So I still love it. I think on every album we have at least one song that leans more toward the rock aspect with some synth leads. So I'm not gonna probably ever get away from that because that's part of my roots. I love jazz, but I think like jazz is one of those words like that people throw out there, like all that jazz. They typically mean noise. So in that aspect, rock and roll and jazz have a lot in common. Oh, quick segue with that. Speaking of, Chick Corea was one of the pioneers of fusion, the type of music that we kind of play. We know his soul is happy and he's resting right now, and I'm thankful that he left a lot of music and inspiration for us. But I'd just like to send quick love to Chick Corea. Thanks for blazing the way for us. And I'm thankful for guys like Chick Corea and Return to Forever, Herbie Hancock, all those other guys, Weather Report, things like that, they helped us get to where we are. I'm sure everyone on this stage has been influenced by those names that I just said. So I'm thankful, again, that you have joined us. I'm Geibral Elisha. We're the Geibral Elisha movement. The next song I'll be playing is called Dance with the Thunderbird. It is off of our latest album that came out right before the pandemic. You can look for us on Spotify, Apple Music. It's called Revelation. Again, this song is called Dance with the Thunderbird off of our latest album, Revelation. Thank you. We're the Geibral Elisha movement. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Once again, we're the Geibral Elisha movement. Give it up for Stephen on the bass, Jonathan on guitar, Tehran on the drums. Or is it Jonathan on the drums, Tehran on the guitar? Nah, just kidding. There's a band called Switch that they would switch the instruments and they would all kind of play each other. My dad has some of their records, and once I learned about them, I always thought that'd be pretty cool to do it. But we're not going to do that today. But maybe one day we'll just switch instruments and then see how that goes. We're the Geibral Elisha movement. I'd like to also thank our sound engineers and those that are running tonight. Dan, we'd like to thank you. And I believe it's his partner. We'd like to thank both of you for helping us out. I appreciate what you're doing. We couldn't have done this literally without you. Thank you for being with us for the Geibral Elisha movement. That was Dance of the Thunderbird. You can find that song on our latest album, Revelation. Find us on Spotify, on Apple Music, and all the other little streaming platforms. We're thankful that we're here. The next song we are going to do is, we're going to be doing a song called Astral Awakening. It's one of my first experiences with music in the astral realm. Again, I was talking about earlier there being this grid or network, internet in crude terms. It's much more complex than that. But consciously, you can travel there and you can find out a lot of things, information, music, and the things there are, you find that the physical world is actually the illusion in a sense, and that realm is more reality. Everything is so much more vivid. The music is so vivid. So as good as this song sounds to me, it sounded so much better in that realm. And I was asleep during this time, but I was wide awake. It was my first experience with this. And I heard this choir, and it was so beautiful. They were singing in, I believe, Portuguese. I don't know the lyrics, but I remembered the melody. And it was just, it sounded like this beautiful, galactic, the closest thing would be like that they have in Brazil. It's called, what is that thing called? Where they dance in Carnival, where there's floats and things. So it's totally different, but that's more or less, that's the closest equivalent to what it is, but it's more of a galactic thing. And there's all this diversity and celebration. And there was this beautiful music, this beautiful sound coming through it. And I woke up, and when I woke up, I ran and went to my keyboard, and I was trying to figure out how the song went. And I just remembered the melody, like, it was more like I was playing around. I was like, it stood out. The rest of the song I built around it, but that was more or less what I woke up with. It's this really beautiful sound. It was so rich. And the song has changed many different ways, but that's more or less has always been the same. That beautiful melody. And we're going to play that for you. It's called Astral Awakening. It originally was Song from My Dream, but over time I changed the title of the song to fit more appropriately what it was. It was an astral awakening, my first experience with that astral realm. And it happened probably around like 2014. I've never forgotten it, and I've gotten more songs that way, but that one stands out to me the most because it's one of my first experiences with it. So we're going to be playing that song for you, Astral Awakening. You can find that also on Revelation, our latest album that we put out right before, at the beginning of this year, actually. I'll get into that more with another story and another song, but we'll play that for you right now. I think I've been talking for long enough. Thanks again for the Geibral Elisha movement. on the record, my wife does some voiceovers. She says, "Is a dream if you're awake? Is a dream if you're awake?" in Spanish. I wanted to say that because that part of the song is so good to me when she's the overdubbing, the tracks, the samples that are in the song on the actual record. I'd like to thank my wife also. She's at home, partner in life. Blanca, thank you. I love you. She's on that record, so that's who that is. I don't even know if I ever told the band that. Some of them knew. Yeah, I was like, it's actually Blanca's voice. Not the beginning, the singer, but the actual vocal part of the song. It's Blanca. Thank you, Blanca. I love you. If you're watching, if the baby is letting you watch, which he probably isn't. So I'll talk about that later. We got time for my little baby girl. The next song I'm going to play for you, it's called Maddie Faye's Prayer. The song is also on our latest record, Revelation. You gather in the theme, playing the songs off of our latest record, Revelation. Make sure to check that out. Spotify, Apple Music, with the Geibral Elisha movement. Apple Music, Spotify, all those streaming sites. We're on pretty much all of them. But this song is really near and dear to my heart. My father's mother, Maddie Faye, she was one of the big influences in my life. You know, I think the first time I ever had coffee, the reason why I don't drink coffee to this day is her. When I used to stay with her in her place after she had had some strokes, she lived in a nice place. We had our own apartment, but it was more for the elderly. Not what you think. You know, we didn't send her off to die. She actually ended up living with family, with us, for the end of her life before she transitioned on to the spirit world. But I would go over there and stay the night with her, and she had this lovely little apartment, and she would make fried chicken and coffee, and it would be like midnight, and I would be drinking black coffee and eating fried chicken. So it's the reason why I don't drink coffee to this day. When I was younger, I thought it was pretty good, but you know, I have memories of me being all like jittery at 2 and 3 in the morning, and the smell of coffee still to this day, I'm not a fan of it. But I love my grandma. She encouraged me when I wanted to give up. There's a long story I do for the whole story. I'm not going to do it here. But basically, the abridged version is I was really terrible at the piano. And by terrible, I mean I sucked so bad that I would get kicked off at church and everywhere else where you're supposed to learn how to play. I was petrified to play in front of people. I do my little recitals. I made a song for my mom, and I had such nervousness and stage fright. I was always very afraid when I was a child. I got over it through meditation, actually, but that's another story. I was terrified, and my grandma would encourage me, and she'd say, you know, and she had had some strokes, but she would say, "Baby, I see you on that little round thing, and you sure sound good, baby. I see you on that little round thing." And what she meant was the piano. She was seeing me somehow, I believe now, in the future, doing things like this, because I was only still playing at little churches, and I was terrible. I was so bad to where, you know, people would literally kick me off in the middle of the song. The singers would make me get off, and it was embarrassing, and it was a hot mess. But she encouraged me, and I was ready to give up. But those words she would say, "Baby, I see you on that little round thing, and you sure sound good." I held on to it. I ended up being okay, and I got a little better. And we're a band now. We play. I've made some records and things like that. I've had the privilege of playing music professionally and doing a lot of things. But if it wasn't for her, I don't believe I would have continued to do it. So this song is special for her. In the beginning, there's a gospel interlude because before her strokes, you know, she sang a lot of gospel songs. And I still remember a lot of the old school songs she sang. So I love you, Grandma. I know you're always around helping, guide, and watching us, so we're thankful for that. Maddie Faye's Prayer off of our latest record, Revelation. sir. Thank you. Thank you for the Geibral Elisha movement. Once again, that's for Maddie Faye. Maddie Faye, I love you. Oh, I love you. And that's gospel blues right there. Like those, there's just something about that type of music I'll always like. Good old, Southern swinging blues, muddy, just, give it up for Stephen on the bass. Jonathan on guitar, he wore that song out. Give it up for Jonathan. Woo! Oh, he wore that song out. Tehran on the drums. There we go. Geibral Elisha with the Geibral Elisha movement. There's 4 of us here tonight. There's many more. But special shout out to all of the movement that's not here with us. Ruben, I know he wanted to be here. COVID stipulations. We got to do what we got to do. Shout out to Ruben. Love you, brother. Isaiah, guitar player, phenomenal. Aaron, he's probably flying around on his planes right now. So I'm just kidding. I love you too. He is a pilot though. Shout out to Connor too. He fills in a lot with us. He's a real solid drummer. Connor, if you're watching, appreciate you. David, hope you feel better soon. Been a little under the weather. Sending love your way, David. And I'm just thankful for all these guys. I met them all through different ways, but they enjoy playing with me still, and I'm thankful for that. It's not all the time that you meet guys that want to keep playing with you. So I'm thankful that you all wanted to be here, and hopefully they still want to be here a little while longer. So the next song we're going to play is near and dear to my heart. It's called Forsythia Sonata. And this is for my baby girl, Forsythia. If you're watching, which you're probably not, she's probably playing with her basketball or something right now. She loves basketball. Got her little basketball hoop, and she be dunking, shooting her little ball, walking around ball. Like to play with it in the tub. It's the only way we can wash her hair. Got a little basketball hoop that I mount to the bathtub, and she plays with it. So you know how little kids are. She showed me unconditional love. I'm not saying that no one has ever given me unconditional love before, but it's opened up unconditional love in me. Seeing my daughter for the first time. That's the only thing I can say. When my wife was pregnant, everybody was, you have a 50-50 chance. You're going to have a boy or a girl. I'll leave it at when she was coming, everybody was saying that, it's either a boy or it's a girl. I knew deep down inside it was a girl. People were like, you better find a name for a boy, better find a name for a boy. But deep down inside, I knew I was having a girl. I was like, well, my wife actually came up with the name for Forsythia, which is a flower that she really loves because she, read Home and Garden, that type of stuff. She's really into flowers and planting and things like that. But she came up with the name years before we had even conceived or thought of conceiving. She was like, oh, that's a really pretty name. She's like, what do you think about it? I was like, I like it. Sounds pretty good. It's unique for sure. And then when she showed me the picture of the flower, I really loved this. It's beautiful, little yellow flower. And my wife was like, well, I'd like to name my daughter that if we, ever have a daughter. And I was like, I'd be on board with that. I think it's a beautiful name. So we'd settled on that, and I hadn't given any thought to other names after that. And then my wife was pregnant, and it was coming time to finding out whether or not we were going to have a girl or a boy. And everybody was like, so what names do you have? You have a name for a boy? And I honestly did not have a name picked for a boy. And I was like, well, I don't have a name for a boy. Well, the doctor was even like, you better pick a name for a boy. You better pick a name for a boy. We had thought around for some things, but nothing really sticked. And I kept thinking of Forsythia. And as the anxiety leading up to that big reveal, it was setting in, and I had so much anxiety. I don't think I've ever been filled with as much anxiety as I was when I was expecting my child. So nerve-wracking, especially for your first one. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a baby. I'm super excited. Woo, let's do this. And I sat on my piano, and I began to think all the emotions I was feeling. And I was playing this melody. The melody was there, and I was feeling it. And it sounded like, I felt like a power in the song, in the movement, but I felt like a delicate situation, like beauty in it. I think the song encaptures that. And at the end, there's relief. It opens up, the song even opens up, and it's more of a celebration. So this next song is for Cynthia Sonata. It was inspired by my daughter as I was waiting for her to be born. These are the emotions that I felt during that time that were captured through music. I love you, baby girl, and I'll be home to see you in a little bit. I'm thankful for this situation that we've had for this year, though. And I'm not making light of the situation or anyone that has gone through anything. I'll clarify that because I know that word or that phrase can be divisive to some people. But what I mean is, I was able to be present for a whole year of my daughter's life. And I wouldn't have had that opportunity if I wouldn't have been forced to be still. I think the majority of us, before this happened, we were always on the go. And we were always beholden to all of these things. And now we've been forced for over a year to be still, to all of the things that we took for granted, for congregating, whether it was religious or social or anything. We had to separate, and then you had to spend a lot of time with yourself. You had to spend a lot of time with whoever was in that house with you, or alone. And luckily for me, I was with my wife and I was with my daughter, and I believe that my relationship is better with my wife and with my daughter for sure. I was able to spend a whole year with her, and I'm thankful for that I didn't miss anything, because she literally learned to walk in a couple of hours, and I could have missed that. I seen her in the morning, and she was afraid to walk in between me and my wife, and then later that night she was walking full blown around the house, and I'm like, what just happened? So those are the things that I'm talking about that I could have missed if it wasn't for this. And I send love out to the world. I know there's a lot of people hurting. There's a lot going on right now, and I'm sending love, and I'm praying for peace and healing for the whole world. But I'm thankful that for Cynthia, she was born on January 1st of 2020, and that was the best year of my life, and it all started with her. So this next song we're going to be playing is for Cynthia Sonata. Love you, baby. See you soon. Thank you. Thank you for the Geibral Elisha movement. That was for Cynthia Sonata. Love you, little baby. Changed my whole life. What a love, what a joy. That was also off of our latest album, Revelation. You can find that online. Follow us if you don't already. Instagram, Geibral Elisha Movement. Facebook. Not a lot to post right now, but things will pick up. There's some music that we have out. We have out 4 albums, 1 live album, and we were at the listening room. We recorded a live album. So we got one more song for you. I'm going to leave you with Astro Boogie, a little funk tune. It's also off of our latest album, Revelation. Find that Apple Music, Spotify, all those other goodies. We're going to leave you with that. I really like this song. It's fun. It's just a good little funk. We're going to play that, and we'll be leaving you. We love you. We thank you. After the song ends, I'll give my goodbyes one more time, and we'll turn it over. Astro Boogie. Thank you, or the Geibral Elisha movement. Thank you so much. Also, quickly, didn't forget about you, LT. So sorry if you're watching. Can't forget the other drummer, LT. Oh my goodness. Love you, man. LT on the drums too. But tonight we had Teron on the drums. Give it up for Teron. Elijah on, I mean, not Elijah. Picked a good time to mess up, it's okay. Jonathan on guitar. Stefan on the bass. I'm Geibral Elisha with the Geibral Elisha movement. We love you. Just like to say, I am you and you are me. We are all and all are we. All are one and one is all. Let light and love emancipate all. Peace be with you. Be blessed. Geibral Elisha movement. Thank you so much.
Wow. To get disconnected here, that was wonderful. We had a whole sermon, a talk, astrobiology, astrophysics, astronomy, champ and such styles art. I'm going to see if I remember these guys' name. Geibral, Steph, Jonathan, Teran. Close? Close is about as good as you get when you're a museum curator.
Teran.
No, that's not true. Teran, thank you. Our next event, we actually, COVID numbers are so good that we may be able to have an outside show with some people, 250 max, socially distanced with masked. It'll be Loud 10, the 10th year we've been doing Loud. March 27th, that's a Saturday, 6 p.m. We've got Sugar Thieves Band opening up, and we're working on a special band as the headliner. So stay tuned to tempe.gov/museum for that. Dan Miller, my wife Shanda Miller doing the cameras. We'll try it again. Elijah, Steph, Jonathan, and Teran. Still close. Yes. Thanks a lot, you guys. Excellent job. Excellent job.
Thank you. Right on, guys. It was awesome. That was a great set. I just